Hey guys, what's up? It's Looney TNT. So today's video, I'm going to give you guys the baseline. What is the best spec for hunters and WoD? It's a straightforward answer currently, but there's so much more to it. It makes it a little bit complex when you start really digging deep into the hunter. Now, straightforward answer, Beast Mastery is the top of the charts for hunters right now. It is the best spec. That said, if I played Beast Mastery with the current gear that I have currently, I would be doing a little bit more DPS as marksman than I would Beast Mastery. Now let's get into that a little bit more. Remember, Beast Mastery is the best spec for hunters. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to check out my gear real quick. I have my PvP gear on currently, so that's not a big deal. We're still talking about PvE, so the PvP gear doesn't really matter. What matters are the stats. So, marksman hunters require a lot of critical strike, and my critical strike is 24%. Now, I tried to play a survival hunter when survival was the thing. Survival hunters were doing the most. They were the top of the food chain. They were the best. But as you can see, I have 11% multi-strike. Survival, your stat priority is multi-strike rather than crit. Marksman hunters, we want crit. Survival hunters, they want multi-strike. Now, when I switched over to my survival spec, and I practiced the rotation for about 3 days. Got it pretty comfortable. I felt pretty comfortable on it. I went and did some testing. What I did was I did high maul. And I found out that the DPS that I was pulling out in high maul, I was actually dealing more DPS as a marksman hunter than I was a survival hunter. Not saying survival was better, or not saying marksman was better than survival at the time, because it clearly was not. Survival was the top. Survival was the best. But because of my gear and the way my stats fell, I performed better as a marksmanship hunter. So if you're looking at trying to be the best hunter that you can be at the time, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at a guide on a Beast Mastery guide, because they are the best right now. You're going to want to figure out what their stat is, what you need, and you want to build your gear based off of the information that you get from the Beast Mastery stat priority. Because if you have bad stats for the spec that you're trying to play, you're going to perform a little bit less than maybe you would have as another spec. It's pretty complicated when you start getting into the numbers, but the bottom line is Beast Mastery is the best, and if you want to be the best, you need the best. You want to try to. You don't need to, but you want to try to perform with the best spec that you can for your class at the time. But you got to make sure that those stats are correct. If you get a piece of gear that drops, let's say I main spec marksman. I really like marksman. I'm not in a super serious progressing guild, but I want to stay marksman. So let's say I have a 670 eye level piece of armor that has a lot of crit on it. And then something drops for me that takes away all my crit and maybe replaces it with haste, but is 10 eye levels higher. Is it better? It might not be, because that critical strike is really important. So, just something to think about. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Hunters out there, we depend on that those secondary stats a lot. That depends on a lot of our DPS, so it's pretty crazy when you start thinking about it. So if you do switch, let's say you are a certain spec and you do switch that Beast Mastery and you aren't pulling out the numbers that you were, it's simply the secondary stats are not where they need to be. Figure out the gear set that you need. Get the gear, because Beast Mastery is the best. Alright guys, hopefully this video helped you guys out. It was 4 minutes of me repeating myself, but I just wanted to try to get the information out there. Make sure you guys subscribe, like the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.